What is going on, ladies and gentlemen? We are back again with another 90-day fiance video, and this one right here is all about season 9 when it came to the couple of Bilal and Shaeeda. And we're going to be watching every single scene that Bilal legit puts Shaeeda through freaking hell. But before we get into it, let's start off by giving a big massive shout out to every single person that is a member of the channel, every single person that is a member of Patreon, and every single person that is a subscriber as we continue to grow. Now, with that being said, let's get into this one.
Ooh, think I'm gonna sleep so good tonight.
Yeah.
After nearly 2 years being apart from each other, it was really great to see a fiancé Shaeeda in person. Tired?
Extremely tired.
But it's been a roller coaster of emotions since Shaeeda landed. Shaeeda's never seen what I drove. She's never seen where I live. I was hoping that, she would be a little like, oh wow, this is your car? Okay, I didn't think that it would go the way that it went. The reaction she's giving me is really taking me back that I'm really questioning some things about her right now. So far, so good?
So far, so good.
Now, instead of bringing her to the home we're going to live at, I'm going to bring her to my childhood home. Like the houses?
They're cute.
When I look at the house that I grew up in, I don't see necessarily the appealing paint. The reality is people who live in this neighborhood are great working class citizens, and some of the people that I actually grew up with to this day, so I always respect that. We are home. I wanted to bring Shy here for multiple different reasons. One, I'm going to play a joke on her. Play like, this is mine, and see what she thinks, see what she says. And two, to also see if I did live here, will you still be with me? But...
Oh dear. A home from the 1900s. Must be an antique.
It's all historic. Oh. Right.
Hey.
So this is obviously the room. This is where we watch TV at and stuff like that. Pray.
Yeah, that's feeling.
Yeah, I gotta get that done.
It looks like it could collapse on us any moment.
No.
This is the home, babe.
This is home.
This is not real. This place is dilapidated. This place is not the place I want to be at.
Kitchen. It's where I make my famous recipes to please.
Okay, I got your point.
And we have our bedroom. This is where the magic happens. And here.
Okay. Yeah. I was hoping my new home to be spacious, modern, contemporary type of home. I'm getting the complete opposite to that. Back at home, I asked Bilal for a picture of his house. He said no. I asked him to see his bill. He said no. He's been so secretive. And I'm thinking, what else is he hiding from me? It's a lot to take in right now.
What's that?
It's a lot.
You good?
I was not expecting this.
Expecting this right here?
Yeah. Is there any rats in the kitchen?
Do I look like a person?
Well, the ceiling is falling. Right now, I don't even know who I am because you showed up in a panel van. I am not comfortable moving to a first world country like United States and having to live like if I'm in the 1900s. You can do better. We can do better.
You read in the Quran where it says you need to provide a mansion?
I didn't ask for a mansion.
Okay, that's the point I'm making. There are some things that need to be fixed, yes, right?
A lot of things that needs to be fixed.
Well, yeah, there's a lot of things that need to be fixed with your attitude right now, too.
Bilal does not like my reaction. I can tell by his eyes. He doesn't like how uncomfortable I am. But at the same time, he's lecturing me as if I'm a child. This is not the person I fell in love with. This house does not represent who you are. Nothing about this house says you.
I could be a person on the corner.
Okay, babe, listen, I had a very long flight. I am tired. I don't expect this from you right now.
You don't expect what? From me?
You should find everything.
Honestly, I'm a little hurt. She does not know that this is my family home. If she came across and hey, the home, I understand it's a nice small house, it's comfortable, etc., but maybe we can grow and get a bigger something. That's okay with me. But a lot of what she said was actually more hurtful in relation to, I thought that, you would have been better than what you are right now. I'm a little hurt. She does not know that this is my family home. If she came across and hey, the home, I understand it's a nice small house, it's comfortable. Babe, do you realize most people don't own a home? Obviously, I know there's things that can be fixed up, things can be improved, etc. But are you the type to, you want to roll up your sleeves and help out, or are you just going to, complain and be like, oh, I'm not,
I will do both.
I don't need no complaining.
Episode 2 of season 9. First introduction of Shaeeda in the United States of America. What does Bilal decide to do? He decides to play a prank on his future wife. And then the thing is, when the prank doesn't go the way he thought it should go, well then, he decided to turn up his attitude. And the funny thing is that he started off by saying I'm playing a prank on her, but at the same time, it's not really a prank. is also a test. I don't know how you can put prank and test in the same conversation. It's either a prank, so therefore there's no emotions, you don't get upset by the reaction, or it's a test and you get upset by the reaction. So the matter of fact is, this wasn't a prank, this was 100% a test that therefore he was then upset with. He was upset with her reaction, and even when she voiced her opinion based on the fact that she said that this home does not represent his personality, it just didn't make sense. It wasn't about her being ungrateful, it was about the fact is who he presented himself to be didn't match the house that he lived in. And to be honest with you, as we continue, there's a certain part when we get to his actual home and his reaction pretty much defined why her reaction was the way it was in terms of her saying, this home does not represent who you are. But the matter of fact is throughout the whole season, he made sure that whenever things didn't go the way he wanted to go, or whenever she spoke up, boom, he was quick to slam her down. But that is exactly who he is. But hey, let's continue. This is just the beginning of the type of difficulty and hell he put Shaeeda through. Let's get it.
I thought this was going to be an absolutely amazing day. It's like, you complain the whole time here about my car, and you complain the whole time.
Oh God, babe.
It's all right, though.
Stop the pity party.
No, it's not a pity party. I thought that I had somebody who appreciated it.
I appreciate it, but we can do better.
That's not being appreciative. You need to look up the word, what it means.
Okay.
That is all good.
I'm tired.
You want something to eat?
Yeah, something that's on a clean bowl, yeah.
Yeah, well, I can order something. I know you don't want to eat.
Do you have enough money for that? Now we'll go and freshen up. In the meantime, you order some food.
I will do that. The first night with Shaeeda is not going as expected. Yeah, I picked her up in a dirty van and we're staying in our childhood home, but no one has lived in the house for like 15 years. So there's things that need to be done to it, it needs to be painted, there's some things kind of fall from the ceiling, here and there. But the way she's carrying on, it's kind of offensive. I expected Shaeeda to be surprised, but after 2 years, I thought tonight would just settle in and finally be happy that we're finally together. And tomorrow, take her to the real house. Hey, thank you. Appreciate it. All right, take care.
All the food is here?
Yeah, food is here.
When Bilal came to Trinidad, he seemed like a pretty much put together type of guy. He had Louis Vuitton luggage, he dressed really how he looks. You should have let me in on this from day one. You should have let me know, so I would have been able to know how to move when I come here. But right now, I feel completely deceived.
Did I take your fork? That was right here? Yeah, I think
Okay. When your food finishes, Hudson, we'll have a conversation because I do not want you in your feelings about everything that happened earlier on.
I'm not in my feelings.
Yes, you are in your feelings.
I mean, you said what you said.
I don't know. It looks like you're struggling, and I'm worried about that. I'm worried for us. I know you're feeling that I'm not appreciating you, how I criticize your home. You have to understand that I give up my family, I give up my life in Trinidad to come all the way here to be with you. Starting from scratch, this is starting from scratch. So you have to understand from my point of view, my perspective, it's a lot for me to deal with.
Right.
If I'm going to live here for 90 days, it's going to be a struggle, but I'm willing to do it. I still love Bilal, but I am worried that he's not being real. I think he's a little delusional with carrying this image and living in the Caribbean, we call it a 2x4 home. And we might have to sell a couple of those suits, and I'm here to work with him, and so we have a lot of work to do before we could even cross the bridge of getting married. I just don't trust you, Carrie.
Yeah.
And you cannot fight me down for being shocked.
So if a person doesn't live in a
No, babe. No, babe.
3-story house or something.
No, babe. That's looking wrong. I don't want to say this, but I don't want to offend you, but I feel as if I was being deceived all along.
Deceived how?
Deceived when I come to your country and I see that you're not living up to the image that you carry.
What do you keep saying, the image?
The image that you carry, baby. You keep training with your Louis Vuitton baggage, wearing expensive watches and belts. And to come in, in this little humble abode, it's not, how do you say it? It doesn't suit you.
It's funny because she keeps saying you're not who I thought you were, etc. But it wasn't like I portrayed anything differently, just because a person can wear a nice suit. Well, it doesn't necessarily mean that you live in the best house. So I don't know what she was actually expecting, but it definitely sounds like she was not expecting this.
It's quite interesting because in this very first scene of them together in 90 Day Fiancé, she was coming out with a lot of gems. But the matter of fact is all she really did here was pretty much repeat what she said before. This is not who you are. You came, you wore all these designer stuff, now we're here, and this is what you're giving me? And that is why, of course, she feels deceived. But the fact that he was blind to the fact that, or refused to acknowledge the fact that she felt as if he was one of these people who fakes it till they make it, or fakes it just for the chick, it's interesting how he just refused to see their point. To be honest with you, Bilal should have been humbled and should have been fortunate to the fact that she was still willing to stay there and she was willing to help him. Obviously, at the end of the day, she said that this is not what I expected, but we can do something about it. We can work together. Maybe sell some of those suits. Either way, at least she was thinking of ways to support them both going forward, even though she couldn't work, by throwing out some ideas of how, they could be a bit more financially viable. But here's the thing though, was he paying attention to the fact that she was looking to actually help him with his finances in terms of, okay, how can we balance things out so maybe we can fix this home? So maybe we can make the home more into a home. Because here's the thing, women will always make a house into a home. That's all she was trying to basically say in the end. Bilal, on the other hand, he just wanted to be difficult. He just wanted to put it for help. And most importantly, he just wanted to always have the last say. Why? Because Bilal always has to be in control. Why? Because he is Bilal, the lecturer. Sadly, he's not a lecturer in the university. He's a lecturer in relationships. Hence the reason why he's now on his third wife, I believe. Maybe fourth. Who knows? Either way, one too many wives. Why? Because of himself. But let's continue, because that was just the beginning of the Bilal and Shaeeda relationship. Let's get it.
Family knows about the prank. I had to go get the keys from my mother for the van. My sister came in town to fix the house, so everyone knows about the prank.
How was it? I don't know what that means. What
Yes,
happened?
tell me all about it.
It took me back to a time, like when I opened the door, I felt like I stepped back in time, like my grandmother's house. It had like my grandmother's ceiling.
Yeah, she wasn't too happy with that. She was like, you brought me from Trinidad to this?
Is that what she said?
Yeah.
She's trying to be nice about it. Now she don't want to talk.
I must say, he's good at keeping secrets though. He's really good at keeping secrets.
One of the things that I was wondering about is I understand you have not been married and you're 37 and you don't have any children. And so just wondering how you see yourself with children.
Well, I love kids. Again, I come from a very big family, and my sister's kids are like my kids. I'm always taking care of somebody else's kids, whether it's my sister's kids, auntie's grandchildren. So I know him having children, it'll be easy for me to adapt to that and welcoming them as if they're my kids as well. I know that's not a problem for me for sure, because I want kids.
You genuinely want children?
Yeah.
What about you, Bilal?
Yeah, I like children.
You like children? Yeah.
I've always wanted a bigger family. I wanted like 4 children, 2 boys, 2 girls, the perfect world.
Exactly.
However, you get older, the kids are getting older and stuff like that, so. Also, you have children, there's no, like, things change drastically too. And though we've like known each other for 2 years, like we only seen, like this is like the 9th day, I think, of actually physically seeing each other, And on top of that, just take the baby, like, no, you cannot.
Do what with the baby?
You can take the baby to this place, to this place, to this place. Like, she lives in a fantasy land when it comes to that. So there's a lot of different stuff you can think about.
I think that there's still some things that they need to discuss. Some compromising is going to need to be done there. Because if this relationship doesn't work out, Bilal will be crushed.
And when's the wedding supposed to be?
Yeah, so how long is it going to take you guys before you actually set a date? You kind of got to spend a few nights and weeks together to see how this thing goes?
Yeah, I like how you say that. We have to see how it goes to see if we're going to make it to the wedding. Right, babe?
Yeah, there's some things still got to talk about.
On the subject of children, Bilal definitely has a way of avoiding it, and he turns it around on me to make it look like if I am the incompetent one, I am the one who lives in a fairyland. Just be upfront, because I need to be sure of when and if he's going to have kids. And there's no way I'm going to get married without having that conversation.
First and foremost, I legit do not remember Bilal having a brother. That is the most bizarre thing. But anyway, let's get into that scene itself in particular. So now obviously this is when we're introduced, or at least Shaeeda is introduced to Bilal's family. His mother, his sister, and his brother. The brother obviously we don't see anyway. But the sister and the mother are 2 people that we definitely see again throughout the season. So to be honest with you, this went from Bilal putting Shaeeda through hell, to then the family basically joining as well. Because let's not forget, throughout the season, there's even a part where the sister decides to play a prank legit before the wedding on Shaeeda. Which, so a lot of us just didn't really find that funny. We found it unnecessary and unneeded. But here's the thing though, let's break down that scene itself in particular. This is the beginning of the baby talk. And the most interesting thing is that, Shaeeda's first reaction was very simple. I know how to be around children, so I have no issues with being around Bilal, which is fantastic. But at the same time, she also desires to have her own kids. Now, obviously at this moment in time, as she already said, Bilal decided to word his words in a certain way, so he throws her under the bus. And the fact is, throwing her under the bus is something that he ended up doing throughout majority of the season. In fact, he had already threw under the bus prior to that, because earlier on in that scene, he straight away throws her under the bus based on her reaction of the family home. Luckily for Shaeeda, the mother, the sister, and the brother didn't react in a negative way to put her down. I don't know what Bilal was trying to achieve by saying that she wasn't very respectful to their family home. But again, though, the man brought her to a house that did not represent who he is. And at the end of the day, who he is someone that is wealthy and someone that is clean. He's someone that keeps his place very hygienically. Or he's someone that keeps himself, very neat all the time. So you expect his home to be just as clean as his appearance. And let's be real, there's even a scene in the season where Shaeeda literally puts a pin on his sofa and he flips the hell out. But yet he wanted to tell her off for being confused and not really appreciating the family home that he took her to, that was basically upside down compared to his house. At the moment that she decides to put a single pin in his sofa, why didn't he react in a way where he was like, you know what? Okay. But instead, he reacted in a way of like, whoa, we don't be doing this to these assets. It's like, it doesn't matter how expensive it is, or how old it is, how clean it is, how dirty it is. Shaeeda can never do any right. If she says, oh, that's too dirty, you're disrespecting my family home. If she puts a pin in one of his new sofas, oh, you're disrespecting my sofa. So the fact is, this is a man that has everything to complain about in life. Why? Well, we don't know why, but it explains why he has been divorced multiple times. And the fact is, on the tell-all episode, the part 1, which we just saw this weekend, his ex-wife comes in and she laid it all out. Every single issue Bilal has. And the interesting part was every single issue that she spoke about is every single thing that he displays throughout the season towards Shaeeda. But because Shaeeda has a hate or a dislike, shall I say, for his ex-wife, she didn't want to hint under that. But then again, though, she's experienced it the whole season. She's known about it. But hey, it's interesting because they talk about fantasy land. But Shaeeda's been living in this fantasy land this whole season purely because she's allowed Bilal to continue with his behavior. But hey, again, let's continue because as you know, there's more. And may I remind you, if you're still here, that clearly means you're enjoying the content. Which means, of course, you have to like the video. Why wouldn't you? And if you're new, you're going to have to subscribe because you're still here. Come on, it's a no-brainer. But let's continue.
The masjid is a place of worship. And the masjid that I attend is a masjid I grew up in. And it's a masjid that my mother still attends to this day. My father did before he passed. My children and my children's mother, my ex-wife.
Is that one other person to meet, and that's your ex? And I do look forward to meeting her.
I can't tell you, like, not to be nervous, or what I can tell you is that she's a cool person. She has, respect for me as I do with her.
Bilal's ex is part of his family. They share kids together. She's always going to be a part of his family. So my nerves are on high because it's important for us to get along. If she doesn't approve of me, that negatively affects my relationship. I'm not looking for toxic or problems right now. I know in life, you can expect everyone to like you, but this particular situation, I want everyone to like me.
Yeah, I get it. Everything you're feeling, I've been through the same stuff, Yeah. Remember, I met your people before you met my people.
But you have to understand, you came as a visitor. I'm coming here with the possibility of staying here forever and making my life with you.
You are.
These are the people who I will have to coexist with on a daily basis or weekly basis.
Right.
So my situation is different. I'm anticipating meeting your ex-wife, and you cannot take away how I feel.
The point I was making is that I can relate to you. I was trying to connect with you.
Bilal thinks I'm overreacting when I say I'm nervous to meet his ex, but I am literally shaken. I am nervous to meet his ex-wife. Bilal tends to lecture me a lot. This is something he did on the phone, but since I've been here, I thought he would have been more relaxed, but he seems to be always lecturing me. I'm not looking for you to be my dad. I'm looking for you to be my supportive fiancé and speak to me like your fiancé. This is my feelings. I want you to respect it and say, okay, I understand. You're a bit nervous. It's your first time.
Yeah. If you can recall what I just said, I literally just said that. Those are your feelings. I can't tell you how to feel.
Okay, just making sure.
I would tell you one thing, though, that you might want to do before you meet her. You just might want to get that booger out of your nose before you meet her.
I don't have the booger in my nose.
Yeah, you got a booger in your nose. It's green and brownish.
Oh, whatever. Maybe you have something stuck in your teeth.
Look like you got hair on it.
No, I don't. I'm getting sick and tired of you pranking me about this booger in my nose. I hate this type of joke. That's an American thing. That is not a Trinidad thing, and that is not my type of humor.
I don't know where you come from, but the environment I come from, we keep our hands to ourselves.
So I can do this?
So what I'm gonna tell you is, Stop. You gonna try to get a wreck? So what I'm telling you is, first
We
of
are
all,
touchy-feely type of people. We have to touch. You know that.
Don't do that.
We hit.
That's disrespectful where I come from.
Give
So keep your hands to yourself and watch your tone. Because I can literally pull over right now and you'll be taking an Uber for the rest of the ride home.
You're not gonna do that to me.
Hey,
It's not
did you not
safe.
just put your hands on me?
Yeah, but it's
And
not
not just
in a
once.
serious way.
Yeah.
No,
it's
I'm gonna give you a
disrespectful.
serious hit.
Yeah. About to get off right here.
I'm not getting off.
Yeah. Shaeeda is being aggressive, and it's making me look at her in a different light. She's doing this as a joke, but it's a joke that I don't play.
Bilal, you have to be a madman to stop and decide to do it like this.
Yeah, this is the highway.
Just because I give you a little tap.
Yeah, you thought I was joking.
Ah, what an interesting scene. Because, you know, in this scene, despite the fact that she shouldn't necessarily be putting her hand on someone that is driving, because of course that could cause an accident, let's identify how, my apologies, when he makes a joke and he doesn't go his way, he gets upset. When she makes a joke that he doesn't like, she gets upset. So it's like, what is the point of having jokes if there's never going to be a sense of just taking it for what it is? It's always a sensitive thing with him. It's always a reaction because there always has to be a control of the narrative. I'm going to joke with you, and if you don't find it funny, I'm going to lecture you. If you try and joke with me and I don't find it funny, I'm going to lecture you. You see what I'm saying? Because the answer always has to be the same, that the end result always has to be the same. But here's the thing though, I don't understand how he can tell her that he's connecting with her when she was opening up about how simply it is another thing to meet someone's family. It is another thing to meet people who you're going to be seeing on a daily basis, on a weekly basis. People that are going to become a part of your family, a part of your community. And of course, like she said, she's coming there because this is going to be a permanent thing. Or less, that's obviously given the fact that they get married, which they did. Him going to the Caribbean isn't the same thing at all. Him going to Trinidad is not the same thing in any way because, like she said, he was a visitor. But the way he likes to separate these things and make them all as if they're one when they're far from the freaking case. Because at the end of the day, if he's not controlling the narrative, then he's not a happy guy. Legit, his whole mission was to put her through hell of him controlling the narrative. And throughout the season, it just got worse upon worse upon worse. Well, once we get to the prenup, that's when it just became repetitive as hell. Even though the narrative is repetitive anyway, the very early stages were more about who is allowed to prank and who's not allowed to prank. Who's allowed to laugh and basically who's not allowed to laugh, to be honest with you. But hey, let's continue. But also at the same time, I don't know how he can tell someone how they should feel and then say that, oh, I'm not telling you how you feel, I'm trying to connect with you. If that was a connected moment, I'm sure they would have connected, because really and truly, when you are in love with someone and you're planning to marry someone that you've proposed to, then clearly when you connect, it should be fluent, easy as 1, 2, 3. But there was no fluency. It was literally just, what the hell was it? That's the question, isn't it? But hey, let's continue. But remember though, if you're still here, clearly you want to be here, which means you want to like the video and subscribe. Let's not mess about. Let's continue.
One more time.
Can you drive the car, please? We are on our way to Juma. Bilal is still agitated and upset that I hit him. It was not even a physical hit lash. It was a tap. It was a playful tap. But when he pulled over, that's when I realized the severity of it all. I am playing. He is angry. We are not on the same page here.
Are you a violent person?
I'm not a violent person, but I was just playing with you.
No, that wasn't a play.
God. You know you're killing my mood right now, right?
I'm killing your mood?
Yeah.
Because you touched me?
Because you pulled the side of the road telling me that.
But I also told you, yeah, for sure.
You don't do that to people.
You don't hit people.
Yeah,
Where do you come from? Where do you come from? Is that what y'all do in Trinidad?
You lose a lot of points for that.
No, you lose a lot of points. I'm thinking you're actually a violent person.
You lose a lot of points
And that's what I'm not trying to be with. Quiet right now. It's all jokes until we get real serious.
It's right here.
Yeah.
There's so much tension, you could cut it with a knife. I I don't understand. Like, Bilal put me through this horrible prank, having me spend the night at his whole house. I would think that he would have had a much lighter sense of humor when it comes to me giving him a little tap on the head. But apparently, like, he's not playful when it comes to him. Oh, he's gonna pick up his kids. See, Bilal is not communicating. He just got out of the car. He didn't say anything. I can smile. I can smile. I can smile. I am not feeling very good right now. And this is not the mood for me to meet Bilal's community and also his ex-wife. You just would direct me which part his sister section is.
Come on, guys. I felt disrespected, and I'm really irritated. But the kids are here, and kids are innocent, and we keep their innocence. So it's like, you know what, let me just be quiet, and let me try to get through this day. You know, we're about to go to Juma. But it's like, hey, we need to sit down and have a conversation about this, about what's taking place.
Correct me if I'm wrong, but he speaks about how his children innocent, but yet the tension was still high. But yet when he got to the event, he didn't even try and resolve things with his woman. He was more than happy to just leave her in the car, slam the door, and go pick up his children, and then ride the car in absolute silence. Shouldn't he have, before that, had a conversation, said, you know what, let's just calm ourselves down, okay? What's happened has happened. I'm about to pick up the kids, and of course, I don't want them to be around an environment that is negative. So, you know what? Well, despite the fact that he was in the wrong, he could have been like, you know what, listen, it is what it is. Let's just continue. I understand. You're nervous. My apologies. Let's continue. Problem is though, the word apologies, the word sorry, or any word that indicates that he's not right, he just doesn't know how to say it. Which makes me wonder though, how is he meant to raise children if he doesn't even know how to apologize himself? How do his children know when right is wrong? When they're in the wrong position, and when they've made a choice that isn't right, and maybe they have to apologize? I wonder if the mother has to take that role. And it's so crazy because he kept talking about Juma this, Juma that, but yeah, if it was that important, that deep to you, you would have made sure that when you arrived there, you'd arrive there in a peaceful manner. And you'd arrive there making sure that your woman would have been comfortable. He neglects that. He gets 0 F's about Shaeeda's feelings. Why? Because his feelings have been hurt. But remind me real quick, why were his feelings hurt? What did she do so wrong that hurt his feelings? Oh yes, she spoke about her feelings. And then, because the conversation didn't go the way he wanted it to go, what did he then do? Oh yeah, he then did what Bilal does worst. He then made a joke. Whoa, allegedly a joke, and that was insulting the fact that she may or may not have had a booger in her nose. And then of course, when she reacts in a joking manner, not the correct one, what does he do? Oh yeah, takes the narrative. And the narrative in this one was more to make her feel like as if she is the villain. One of the worst things you can do to anyone, make someone feel like they're the villain when literally the situation isn't even that deep. Bilal the lecturer. Bilal the man that only wanted to put his woman through hell time and time again. No matter what she did, no matter what direction she looked, she breathed, she woke up in, she daydreamed in, you name it, boom. He was like, I'm going to give you hell today. Every day he woke up, he was like, smell it. I smell giving hell to my woman. Yes. And that is clearly his pattern with every single female he's been with. It's so sad though, because obviously as repetitive as this may feel is, the good thing about the season though, when it first started, is that there was different types of ways he was given hell. Narrative was the same, and that was him being a lecturer from hell, a lecturer given hell. Hey. Let's continue though, because of course there's always more. Don't forget to subscribe if you smell what I'm cooking. I had to play that one out because I messed up my words. But anyway, like the video. Let's continue.
Assalamualaikum.
Hi, Juma. I feel alone. He is greeting his relatives, his friends, and his community. And I'm by myself.
Isn't it lovely having a partner that doesn't even really care to, or at least this is how it's portrayed in the show, Doesn't even care to introduce you to everyone at the Juma, the place that you're going to be going to on a frequent basis, the place that's going to become one of your communities. Love. Love is very questionable in some relationships, I can say that for sure. As far as I'm concerned, if you cared, loved, anything like that for your woman, you would have still happily introduced her to every single person there. Rather than let her walk around feeling alienated, looking like a lost puppy. Why? Because he has to have the narrative, and most importantly, because he wants the narrative, because he has to make his point clear. The whole thing was to make her feel bad. The whole thing was to make her feel like absolute poop. Neglecting her, leaving her by herself, in his mind, he's like, this is your time to reflect and see that what you've done has caused this situation where you're now by yourself. I want you to think about this. And then when we talk about it later on, I want you to apologize to me. Trust me when I tell you, that's exactly what was going through his freaking thick head. Let's continue.
Taking some.
Look nice. I guess you're dressed for, I know supposedly we're supposed to go out, have a date night. But I really kind of don't feel like it, to be honest with you. Still kind of taken away for like what happened in the car.
I was playing with you. It was not serious. It was not serious.
I mean, playing, it was like, if you could have did something like that one time, and then I was taken off guard, I was like, okay, did she just do what I thought she did? Then after I told you, like, that wasn't cool, where I come from, sounded disrespect, and you did it again, and then you even, like, try to grab my face, I'm driving,
I was just
turning
playing.
my face,
I was just playing with you.
out the wreck, and then I was like, if you do that again, I'm like, pull over, and then you did it again, like, you hit me 3 different times.
I just feel like that's how I behave with my brother-in-law. It's like, it's not a big deal. We ramp it with each other. We give each other elbows.
That's one thing. Elbows, I'm good with all that.
We hit each other behind the head.
Hitting each other in the head?
As a playful. Was it an abusive hit?
You hit me pretty hard in the back
It
of
was
the head.
not pretty hard. How was my countenance? How was my face? How was my expressions? Was I angry? Or was I smiling? Was I looking for laughter? I think it's the cultural differences. It wasn't meant to offend you because I would have never done it again. No?
I literally told you it was offensive. I'm the biggest jokester that it is, so I get all that fun and humor and all that. But then there's also a time when you do something and somebody's like, you know what, you overstepped your boundaries. It's like, my bad, I didn't mean it that way. But then for you, it's just like, you just kept.
I realized definitely Bilal and my sense of humor, it's different. He played a prank on me and I moved forward. It was not the best of pranks, coming to a whole country, having me work so hard and to see something I was not expecting. And for him to do something so petty. I feel like Bilal, he tends to get hurt so easily. Where I come from, we say things, we offend each other, and we move on. If I was expecting that reaction, I would have never have done it.
But if I did something that was offensive, like let's say if I do a joke later on to you, the reality is that if I did hurt you, I would be sincere in it. I apologize.
It wasn't that serious, but I understand it's an offense to you, and I will not do it again. But at the same time, when it occurred, I felt isolated. You ignored me. I was standing outside in Montreal for a while before you came. This is not my place. This is not my country.
I mean, obviously, I don't want you to cry, but it was pretty hurtful to me, And sometimes the best thing to do in a situation is to be silent. So it was best for me to think about it and be able to talk to you after the fact.
No, I feel like I'm being punished because you canceled our date night.
I didn't say I had to cancel the date night. I said I didn't really feel like going because we needed to talk about this. I mean, everything was just, the date did not go the way that I hoped it to go.
I'm very, very sorry, and I will not do it again.
I grew up play fighting all the time. We play with the kids. So it's not about play fighting, like being playful and all that. That's one thing. But it's about, hey, when somebody tells you like, all right, don't do that. Then it's kind of like, you kind of disrespect me. If you're sincere,
I'm very
then I
sincere.
accept the apology. I'm glad we were able to talk about this.
Yeah.
Shaeeda's apology is very sincere. But the reality is we do need more time to be with each other, more time to get to know each other much more. Right now, we are not ready to walk down the aisle.
I said it a second ago. Saying it again. He did this all because he wanted her to apologize. She fed straight into his hands. It's so sad though because a part of me respects the fact that she apologized because she's like, I just want to let bygones be bygones. But a part of me is disappointed that she apologized because you see, even though she's doing the right thing, shall I say, to let bygones be bygones because it's not that deep, it's more the fact that he's still not going to understand that the situation isn't that deep. He's not going to understand that. Well, maybe he does understand, but the way though is the fact that he's getting his own narrative no matter what. He's getting his own ending no matter what. Because if you notice, everything that he says is, this is not how I planned it to go. this isn't how it's supposed to go. And obviously we know that when things don't go the way he wanted it to go, boom, bam, all of a sudden there's an issue. And that is the problem. And when there's an issue, who has to pay? Who has to suffer? Who has to go through hell? Shaeeda. And any other wife he's had before then. That is pretty much the pattern. It's so sad because, to be honest with you, we see the same tendencies even with his sister and his mother. Madness. Now, one thing that I will say is that I really didn't know how long this video was going to be. I thought maybe it'd be about half an hour tops. But it seems to me as if we're going to be here for a while. So if you haven't already, you better get your popcorn, get your food, or whatever it is you need to help you sit back, relax, and just listen to the sound of my voice as I continue to commentate through everything that happened, or everything that he did that made her, that put her through hell. But to be fair, we get to the prenup. I ain't going to repeat that one because, nah, we ain't doing that. But nonetheless, though, let's continue.
Beautiful aroma. Smell pretty good, don't it?
I think your hand is on my pen.
Why do you have pins on the couch?
Because I stick pins sometimes when I take off my hijab and I forget to put it back. Is that a problem?
Yeah, that's a problem. Do you know first of all, how expensive this couch is?
Is it an ear couch?
To mash up.
With one
Mash up
or
my
two
bank
pins?
account.
Come on, baby, being ridiculous.
Yeah, I'm not being ridiculous. Why would you?
Welcome to having a hijabi wife.
Who does that?
It's something we do. We keep pins on the cushions.
I want Shaeeda to feel like this is her home. She's the queen of the home. But there's also a fine line where when I see things that are left everywhere, like the little pins that you have, that you keep in your scarf, like don't leave it in the couch. Don't leave it on the floor. I just stepped on it like 17 million times. Just kind of put it away.
Ever since I came here, I've been doing everything that you want me to do. But today I felt like, switch it up.
I just know that, you want to meet people and talk to people.
Thank you for this, babe, but
and all those different things.
I'm not coming.
The number one reason that I became attracted to her was because of her faith and her regards for Islam. For Muslims, our religion is the most important part of our marriage, without a doubt.
I'm not coming, okay? Is that okay?
It sounds like that's, you kind of like headstrong. That's what you want to do. Mm-hmm. There's a saying that family that prays together stays together. And it's very important for me that Shaeeda really be active in the community. So I'm hoping that, she would start to change that.
The pins in the sofa. Remember what I told, didn't I? This is that scene. His reaction, very hypocritical. But if you tell him that, he'll find a way to do what? Lecture you, turn it around, and make you feel like you're the bad person. All he believes is putting everyone else through hell. And also at the same time, he wants her to go to Juma again, which is understandable, but she doesn't want to go again on a Friday because that's not something that she does within her own community, which is fine. But is he going to accept that? No, because he has goals. His goals is to have a woman that's going to go Juma with him all the freaking time. But nonetheless, though, let's go back to the pins. The pins are the VIP of this part. The pins are the pinnacle of why his original joke, which was a test at the same time, clearly is hypocritical based on her reaction to his reaction. Like she said before, how you present yourself just didn't match that home. And that response he gave there about the pins in the sofa, his first reaction was, do you know how expensive this sofa is? You don't see it, you don't see it, but you should see it. Let's continue.
What is going on up in here, man?
I'm able to do that.
Like you have water literally everywhere. In our religion, before we pray, we make wudu, right? Which is, washing the hands, arms, the face, mouth, hair, feet, and alhamdulillah, that means praise be to God. She's praying, she made wudu, but she left evidence everywhere, right? Like you want to make sure that you clean up after yourself. Water is a very, very bad thing for wood.
Okay.
Because the wood can start buckling, etc.
You want me to get a mop or something?
I mean, it's so much water. It's like you made wudu for like 100 people, man.
Okay, you want me to do it? Because you just
I got it.
Come, I'll help you. Yeah, God, you have me like Cinderella here scrubbing floors, babe.
I don't have to do anything, babe. That's you. I mean, when I left the house, it was pretty clean and spotless.
It's just a little water, babe. Don't overreact.
It's not a little water. It's like a little kiddie pool on the floor.
Before coming here, I see a little bit of Bilal's OCD staying at the Airbnb back home with him, but it's surpasses what I expect. No, it's getting on my nerves. Oh, gosh, babe. I mean, yes, I'm all for a clean house, but I feel as if I have to, live with a king. Is it good?
Yeah, I think it's all right. I mean, unless you got water other places.
Oh, God.
Baby, come here. Just come here. Come here for a second.
What?
What's going on? What's going on over here? I don't be like an extra neat freak.
You are an extra neat
but
freak.
There's certain things that you just want to be neat. If you want a big spoon, your big spoons are here. Mm-hmm. If you want a smaller spoon, they're right here.
Okay.
Same thing with your forks. I don't think I'm OCD.
You are OCD.
OCD is here And need is here. I'm at need. And she's somewhere down here. It's not to the extent where like, oh, the remote control is 1 inch off from where it should be. Not like that.
It's exactly like that.
Definitely not.
It is exactly like that. Everything has to be put back in place. Like, relax a little bit.
But babe, a lot of these too, sweetheart, it's not washed.
I was good at washing dishes, you know, that's not my thing. It was never my thing.
It's not a big deal. All right?
Thank you, Shai, for making the effort of trying to clean.
Yeah, thank you.
Okay.
Appreciate it.
Yeah, thank you. That's all.
Yeah, appreciate it.
I have 90 days to get to know Bilal. Getting to know him online is different from living with this person. And I can see we are different. We see things differently. So I think Bilal needs to give way when it comes to the home and realize that this is our home now. We're going to have things that he's going to do that I will not like and vice versa. I do worry that Bilal and I will find it difficult to compromise in this relationship.
I don't know about you though. But the moment that I get to a point in my mind where I feel like compromising isn't going to be as easy as 1, 2, 3. To be honest with you, that's the moment where I sit there and I say to myself, I just don't know if we're going to work. Because if I feel like compromising is a thing that we cannot do, well, then it tells me that maybe our communication may not be great too. There's so many bad signs when it comes to not being able to compromise. But hey, this is Shaeeda. She decided to stay in the relationship. Why? Lord knows. Go digger. Who knows? At least that was a narrative throughout the season anyway. But let's get into that scene itself in particular. So of course she's made a little bit of drip drap here and there. And to be honest with you, I do understand Bilal's frustration. If your house is nice and tidy and someone comes in and all of a sudden they leave evidence left, right, and center, that's not exactly the nicest thing ever. And it definitely is something that's gonna make you feel like, okay, you need to sort this out real quick. But there is definitely a way to go about it. To be fair with you, in this scene, I didn't really feel as if he went about it too bad, because instead of going into his lecture mode, he was trying to laugh it off with her, which is a good thing. It's a good thing because it shows us that Bilal can be human. He can be fun, shall I say. He can be level-headed. But it's a shame, though, that was the only time we got that throughout the whole season. Because at the end of the day, whenever he came to him telling her off or anything like that, it was always a matter of lecturing and just putting her through hell. But in this one scene out of freaking 18 episodes, only once he did this. Maybe he broke character. Maybe that's who he really is. But again, though, I do understand his frustration in this situation. So to be fair, though, it is what it is. But at the same time, though, I kind of got the vibe that he was looking for her. I just got very maidey vibes, as if like he wants this woman to also be a maid. I mean, to be fair, he does attract, at least I understand he attracts women that he wants to make into housewives. Anyway, let's continue.
Alhamdulillah, you're here now.
Yeah, I am.
So how are you like adapting? Like, because not only you're like in another environment for as a home, you know, living with another person.
Yeah, I enjoy getting to know you, seeing your habits. You can be very fussy at times, very particular.
Fussy when you say fussy?
Fussy as in, we know you like to have everything spick and span. Now, I don't have a problem with that. It's just that I get nervous knowing that, you know, if you come home and open the door and see it like that, if you're going to fuss, and I don't want to hear you.
Well, it's not fussing because I don't fuss with you.
About stuff,
yeah.
Shining the spoons, all these things, shining
Babe,
everything.
You do not shine spoons.
Can't please you, babe.
I'm just telling you. Like, you even told me your own self. You said your mom used to complain about your silverware.
Why do you think you do this? Like, you always try to, like, you always do that. Like, if I tell you something, I'm sure back. Like,
that's not a throwback. I'm
just
telling you.
to win a conversation.
No,
like,
I'm just
I
telling you
super hate that.
Because literally, you'll do that and I have to rewatch it.
Yeah, babe. Like, I feel like every time we have a conversation, you must win. Every single time you're talking, you have to win.
Okay.
No, every time you're talking, I'll say, you win.
Okay. I have never argued so much in my life, ever, with anyone. Ever. To the point where I feel like there's no point of even arguing anymore. And it's like when I try to express myself, you say I'm nagging or I'm giving you a lecture or blah-blah-blah. And it's like,
no, and you
really
have
small.
to understand that you're always not always right.
I never said that.
And even
we're
if
talking about something
like
being clean and being unclean. That's not a right or wrong.
No, babe, you'll fight down a conversation just to win. Like,
what do you want to? There's no win. There's no
know,
win or losing.
This makes me so uncomfortable speaking to you right now.
Okay, we don't have to talk then. We do not have to talk.
Do you want to know what the most craziest thing is? In fact, there's two things that's crazy right now. First one is you're still here and you haven't liked the video yet. So please make sure you hit the like button and subscribe too. The second thing is that, well, it's interesting how throughout the season, Shaeeda would tell us every single thing that we're thinking near enough. And everything that she tells us that we're thinking near enough are the reasons why we know that they should not be together. But yet, she stays in a relationship with him. And that is the most bizarre thing ever. She flat out told him that it always has to be your way. You always have to win, 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 win. She's identifying the fact that all he wants to do is put her through hell by always being the one that wins. Because for him, it's not about the right thing. It's not about being the bigger person. It's about who is right. And for him, it is always him no matter what. I guess he must have missed out on Tina Turner's song. It doesn't matter who's right or wrong. I think that's the name of the song. Something like that. Yeah, along the lines of that. It's just insane, isn't it? Watching a grown man not know how to hold himself accountable. But the matter of fact is, like she said before, it was a general conversation. But like I've already said earlier in this video, when it comes to Bilal, no conversation is a general conversation if it is not going in the direction that he wants it to be in. He wants it to be in, or how he saw it. And that is why she's even identified again, you always have to win. No matter whether it's a big thing, small thing, you've always got to win. Why? Because you are a petty loser. You are a petty winner. There is no growth in that. I do wonder how he fathers his children. But hey, continue. I must say though, when I get to Emily and Kobe, or Emily's family and Cody's video, I wonder if this can be this long. I didn't realize how much airtime that Bilal and Shaeeda got. They got a lot of freaking airtime. Probably explains why they're now on Happily Ever After. It was all just set up, wasn't it, from the very beginning? But hey, like the video, subscribe, and let's continue.
So much.
Things are happening so fast. Like, how are you feeling?
I know there's just some concerns.
Oh.
When it comes to your brother, we still have issues that we need to deal with. I always feel like every time I have to mention something to Bilal, he corrects me. He changes what I have to say. So I feel he's very strong-headed. I don't know if it's part of him being in sales for so long. You always have to win a conversation.
I've never seen that guy because, usually it's the cool, calming, kind of easy breezy kind of guy that I usually see. But, have you talked to him about it?
Talking to Bilal, if I talk to him about it, if I pitch it to him, he will pitch something about me that irritates him.
So I think he probably just needs to find his own opportunity and time to talk to you about the things that he doesn't like. Because, his points are still valid too, and how he feels and what you do. But when you think about being with somebody long term, like if you feel that way, like how long will you be able to take that where you just, feel like I don't have a word,
I travel thousands of miles all the way here to try and wedding dresses. This is like something long term for me. But there's still some issues that we have. And I'm keeping it 100% real. Topic of not wanting kids. Like one minute he says that he wants, next minute he'd be like, you're not ready for kids. I want kids so bad. So that is definitely a make or break point for us because I'm not going to waste my time with someone who doesn't want kids.
With Bilal, I think he does want to have children. I just think he's just want to put it on a timeline and saying not right now. But it's like for her to actually say, I'm not going to move forward with this thing if Bilal doesn't want to have kids, that's kind of a hard place to be in.
Like, I don't know. He says he trusts me, but I'm not 100% sure if he trusts me fully.
Well, it's like, like you said, it took him 7 years to get to a certain point to open himself up. So that tells you that there is some trust there. Now, I think that 90 days is not a long time. You know what I'm saying? So to make a jump like that, especially when you've been through what you've been through in the past, and you want to be extra careful. So it's like Bilal likes try. He's not just thinking about his own self, but he wants to protect his family, which is like the essence of a man. I kind of do have concerns. This all looks good, feels good in a way, but it's like, is it what it seems to be? She's been engaged twice. What's going on? Go through the hurt. That's all.
Did you notice? Did you recognize how no matter what she had said, Bilal's sister would still give a Bilal type response? And what is a Bilal type response? That is a response that works in which favor? In his favor. No matter what she had said in terms about how she's been made to feel, it was always, yeah, but you got to understand Bilal's side of the story though. Yeah, but Bilal went through this though. Yeah, but Bilal this, Bilal that. And that is something that we noticed and witnessed throughout the whole season when it came to his mother and his sister, always back in his corner, which is understandable. But at the same time, it's nice to see people, whether it's mothers, siblings, holding their brother or sister accountable for their actions. They're right or wrongs, which tells you that the mother, the sister, have sugarcoated him for such a long time. Arguably, Bilal was someone that could have easily ended up on I love a mama's boy. Because that is legit what he is. His mum, sister, always protecting him. Which is probably why we didn't see the brother throughout most of the season. Because maybe the brother wasn't protected. You never know, right? But hey, end of the day, was I surprised by his sister's reaction towards Shaeeda? No. And I did say, to be fair, throughout the season, that the difference between Bilal and his sister and his mother is that his sister and the mother have a woman's touch. They know how to say things in the correct way, so it doesn't come across snappy, doesn't come across strong, doesn't come across rude or anything like that. That is the biggest difference. Sadly for Bilal, he doesn't have that. So even though the sister may say things in a certain way, it doesn't mean it means it in a certain way, if you dig what I'm saying. But hey, let's continue.
How can I take your mind off of some stuff?
Yeah, tell me anything.
It's probably not the best time. We got an email.
Yeah?
The contract, the marriage contract.
The prenuptial agreement.
Yeah. I'll show you a little bit of what it looks like.
I am in complete shock right now. Before I came here, Bilal had only mentioned the idea of a prenuptial agreement, and I was adamant that it was not for me, and we didn't speak about it again. I did not even know they write up a copy. So this is your way of wooing me.
Definitely, I did not want to bring this up like in this scenario, and because this is supposed to be it's nice me and you, but it's kind of like you have a pain, and then it's like, you know, you step to somebody's foot to take away from the other pain.
Okay.
In hindsight, I probably should have picked a better time to do that. Her mood changed quickly. I thought I was doing something good to kind of take her mind off of the hype, but it ended up being something bad. Definitely backfired.
I just wanted to start like a love story without
We do have a love story.
a prenuptial agreement in between us.
Hey, we do have a love story. Marriage is compromising, but also marriage is a business. I don't like, even when you get married, like here legally, you have to sign a contract. You have to like, you know, sign a license, like for us to have legal marriage. Everything that I'm doing is completely okay.
I can see there's no backing down when it comes to this prenuptial agreement. I can see there is no backing down.
I'm not doing anything that we're not supposed to do from a religious standpoint. Allah says always resort to writing things down. This is to say that, hey, whatever you said, whatever I said, we're honoring what we said, and we want to put it in writing, and then we want to sign it and say we agree to the terms and everything like that.
And now we're here. The prenup. Can you believe that the prenup started off on episode 10? Episode 10. So we went 7 episodes. Obviously, it wasn't into episode 17. Obviously, after that, 18 is the which is 7 episodes. Back and forth with the prenup. But don't worry, we're not going to go through every single episode of the prenup. We're going to go through certain ones, but the prenup is obviously essential for us to talk about in terms of her being put through hell. It's crazy though, because he takes her on somewhat of a nice day out to then boom, ruin it with a contract, with a prenup. It's crazy though, because that was the first time and the only time he actually held himself accountable by saying that maybe the timing wasn't right. I was surprised he did that, to be fair, but that took a lot for him. But at the end of the day, the prenup was definitely the beginning of the end. No, hold on, that's a lie. Episode 1 was the beginning of the end for these two, to be honest with you. Ever since the prank, it's always been down, 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 down. Why are they still married? Why they got married? I have no idea. Why they still married? I have got no idea. Why they don't happen ever after? No idea. Then again, anyone that doesn't have it happen ever after? No idea. Because none of them lived a happily ever after relationship, which explains why these two bloody made it. Can you believe that? Of course you can. Why? Because it's TLC. What do we expect? But let's talk about the prenup. Was Bilal in the right or was he in the wrong? I guess it's a sticky one. I'm gonna say that he was in the right to propose the idea of a prenup, but he was wrong to not want to compromise on the prenup in terms of what stipulations go in the prenup. Because the prenup became such a big topic that in the end, it ended up her putting down that you must give me a child. That is a ridiculous thing to put in a prenup. Can you imagine signing a contract saying that you must give me a child? Is this what life has come to? So if your relationship is in a bad place, but because you signed a prenup, you must give a child, I feel sorry for that child straight away. Because that child has come into a world of just hell. Well, I mean, it makes sense because, well, the mother already lives in hell. It's crazy though, isn't it? Why someone would want to have a child with someone that has legit been putting them through hell since the very beginning. How does it go again? Make it make what? You know exactly. Make it make sense. But you can't make sense out of foolishness. Because honestly, the fact that she continued to want to marry him is just complete foolishness. So much we got to the point where the sisters came out and said to her, "Are you sure you don't want to play gold digger? at your wedding? Are we surprised that they said that? I was, but does it make sense they said it? Abso-freaking-lutely. But hey, let's continue and then we'll wrap this up real quick. Let's get it.
How have things been with you and Bilal? It's
been a roller coaster. It's been a roller coaster. We have our ups, we have our down moments, and I just wish we could come to a place where we are more at peace. You have a lot of experience when it comes to marriage. You was married to Bilal God for a lifetime. And I know there's no such thing as a perfect marriage, but you guys have spent so much time together.
Right.
And I was like, you know what? I want to be married for a very long time.
Well, I think you're on the right path when you realize that marriage is not perfect. It's two imperfect human beings holding on to each other and not letting go.
That type of relationship, I know, is something that doesn't come overnight. Like, relationship you and your husband had. And that's the type of relationship, like, it's always been my ideal relationship as well. Bilal do have those qualities, but at the same time, I feel like part of that, that business persona that he has is, it's in our relationship. Because I'm from the old school, when you marry, you're married. You don't really, you don't protect yourself because you don't look at your partner like a suspect.
I'm assuming, and I shouldn't assume, but are we talking about this prenup?
Yes, we're talking about the prenup.
Okay. You're feeling that a prenup is saying, you don't trust me?
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay. When you come into an agreement, a law teaches us to put it in writing.
True.
So it's not necessarily a lack of trust.
Yeah.
But when it comes to trust, what does trust really mean? It means different things to different people. Some people will say, I will trust you until you show me that I can't trust you.
Okay.
Some people will say, you have to show me before I can trust you. Neither way is right or wrong. It's just how that person feels. With Bilal, it took him a very long time to open up his heart because he had been hurt. To let you in, and by that, some of the fears of leaving. So these are triggers. Allah has put the male as the head of the family. And he leads, and we follow. But there's ways that we can lead from behind. But you always leave him with his manhood. The male is sometimes maybe it's tactful, but when you're in that leadership position, it's not a dictator. So I have tried to teach all of my sons to be strong, but yet tender. But the back and forth, going back and forth, if it gets to that, there's no winners. We have to learn that being right is not the most important thing. Will it matter 5 years from now? Bilal wants peace and comfort. If you know you have a good man, figure out how to make it work and bring in the peace.
I'm not gonna lie to you, that scene right there is one of the best scenes I've ever seen in my life. Now I'm gonna tell you why, because the way the mother worded herself, it's like she was trying to audition for a freaking Oscar or something, about saying words in the right manner to really manipulate you so you can get the narrative that she wants for her son, for the family. And the narrative was plain and freaking simple. You should understand this. Allah wants the woman to be submissive. In their culture, in their culture, what they believe is, remember, when it comes to being, obviously being a Muslim in the Islamic community, there were different types of communities. We cannot relate this to every single one. So what I say is not a generalization to every single person that is a part of the community. No, this is a part of the community that they're from, the mother's from. Because remember, Shaeeda's already said so many times that in her country, her community, they do certain things differently. Like, for example, women do not go to Juma on a Friday. It is only the men. So it really shows the differences. So I'm just saying that now in case someone tries to say, oh, don't be generalizing, because I'm bloody not. So let me get back into my point. But clearly from the community that Bilal's mother's from, the woman is submissive. And all she's literally saying is that, I don't know about your community, and this is literally what Bilal would say, I don't know about your community, but in this one, we do it this way. Whatever you did in your one, doesn't matter. What matters is how we do it in this one. And the matter of fact is the mother did such a perfect job of wording things in a certain way and saying things in a certain way where she was like, basically, you need to make sure he leads. And even the killer part was when she said, it doesn't matter about who is right or wrong. It's about the leader. Pretty much saying that you got to make sure he wins every single freaking time, because you being right will never freaking matter. You need to put that in your thick skull right now before you decide to marry my son. That is exactly what she was saying in a nutshell, but without saying it directly. Wording it perfection. Because by the time she said that, Shaeeda was then like, oh, I understand now. But what do you understand? Do you understand that you've just been fully manipulated? You went to Bilal's sister, she manipulated you. You went to the mother, the head, she manipulated you. You go to Bilal, he doesn't even try and manipulate, he just lectures you. Golden stuff, absolutely golden stuff. She's saying, welcome to hell. If you want to be my son's life, be prepared to do exactly what he wants, what is requested. This is your new home, and your new home is called hell. The madness. And let's not get it twisted. The mother 100% is the one that orchestrated the whole idea, or at least a big part of the prenup. Believe me when I tell you, she had a big part of playing it. She wants to make sure that prenup is signed no matter what. In fact, the family probably had a meeting about the prenup before they even presented to Shaeeda. And now because she's going around talking to every single person in the family, they all know exactly what to say. And all of their narratives is exactly the same, it's just that their approaches are just slightly different. Family from hell. Nonetheless, continue.
Like, she had where it hurts, and it's like the things that she said, someone had to say it.
Sounds like you got some words of wisdom.
You know, like, what she said today is like, you have to know when to be submissive. You have to know when to express yourself. I want to have a relationship where I know when to submit to you and be submissive rather than, like, everything you say, I don't have to fire back. And I think vice versa. Everything I say, you don't have to fire back. I feel like I've been so strong-minded, and sometimes I blame that on, you know, being single for so long, not really having to compromise or share anything. So now I'm agreeing for a prenup. Because I feel like we have been back and forth, and this has caused so much friction in our relationship. So I'm willing to submit. I think before I was feeling, figuratively speaking, I was so naked. Like, I needed something, what I'm used to trying to look for security.
Thinking about what I look for in a potential spouse. I really necessarily wouldn't say, like, submit, you know, because, you know, we submit to God. But I would say just, it was just refreshing that she came to a point that said, you know, like, I'm willing to be open, 100% see where you're coming from.
Yeah.
All I'm trying to do is just also let you see where I'm coming from. And by no means, it's not a way to say, you know, like, I won't take care of you. Not like, I mean, I'm proving that I continue to do that. You know, it's just a way to say, you know what, can I protect myself as well, to protect what I do have. I'm all about whatever you want to do for us, your yoga stuff, to willing to invest in you when it comes to financially, time-wise, and all that stuff, to get your business booming here in the States. We don't even have to have that in prenup. We can put it in there for sure.
Let me keep this one simple. I get where you're coming from, but I've got to tell you where I'm coming from too. See? Always has to end with what narrative? With who having the last word? With who always getting their point across even when it's not needed or not necessary?
2 more days. Hope you love it.
Bilal's mom gave me some advice about Bilal and also the prenup. So now I could focus on the wedding, and I could finally get to see the wedding dress that Bilal's sister made for me.
I am so excited.
Should I close my eyes?
Just a little bit as you come.
I'm just a very fussy person when it comes to dresses. I wanted something more tailor-made, fit for my body, and she is a fashion designer.
Oh my goodness. Keep looking down, keep walking. Okay, when I count to 3.
My heart is beating so fast. Oh my God.
1, 2, 3. What do you think?
This is not the style that I sent you.
Like, know what they want, so I just kind of did something that I thought would look better on you. And, you know, I know you wanted it kind of fitted, but I thought it should be a little bigger, so, you know, put some room in there.
An old lady dress, an old-fashioned dress, a hideous dress. Ugh. Like, I'm trying to compose to myself because I know how I get when I'm angry. So I'm like, okay, how can I get married in this old lady dress? Someone clearly was not taking instructions. Do you remember I wanted something like lace and not tight, but not big?
Mm-hmm.
You remember I said something?
Yeah. But that's what I was saying. I thought maybe, you know, you got some lace, and I was thinking, you know, you don't want to have it too fitted, so you still got some shape in there. It's a little bit big, but I can also, you know, that's the other thing. It was really hard to be able to put this together, and we're in 2 different states.
Yeah, but you saying you don't want it too big, but you should allow me to decide that.
I mean, I usually see you wear your clothes kind of big, right?
Yeah, but I still want to look modestly sexy on my wedding day.
Oh, just give me a second. Hold on.
You have to be real, man. This is atrocious.
I'm gonna bring a veil out, and I'm sure you're gonna love it.
Gosh.
I know you're not in the mood, but close your eyes one more time. Okay, open it up.
Oh my God.
So, I just decided to play a little joke on you with that one.
Sorry, why you did this? Like, stop. What is it with you and Bilal pranks? It's a family trait.
It's a family trait, yes.
Well, we started off the video with a prank, so why not finish the video with a prank? The first prank was atrocious. The second prank, also atrocious. But for some bizarre reason, this family likes to make pranks when it's just not needed. But hey, they are the family of pranksters. Yet they're the family who can't handle when someone comes in and tries to take a little bit of control of their own life. Hence the reason why Bilal has been through more than one wife. Why? Because at the end of the day, if the family can't control that wife, then that wife has gotta go. And that is basically the situation with Shaeeda. Difference is though, she has decided to become submissive and basically, bow down to the family's needs. And that is such a sad life to live, and I can only call it hell. But nonetheless, let me know what you're thinking down below in the comment section. Hope you made it to the end, and if you did, clearly means you want to like the video if you haven't already, and you definitely want to subscribe if you haven't already. But with that being said though, I'll catch you guys in the next video. You dig? We out. Oh, yeah, just that twice. Peace.